What's up people? In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that helped us write the script for our short film The Self-Tape: constraints, goals and obstacles, and an active character. I'm going to explain what I understand these concepts to mean, as well as exactly how we put them into practice and use them in the process of writing our film. The Self-Tape is a short film that tells the story of an actor who has to rush to record and submit a self-tape audition. But there's just one problem: he's run out of American accent pills. If you haven't seen the film yet, you can check it out at the link up here and then come back to watch the rest of this video. Let's get into it. Number 1, constraints. Constraints are limitations or restrictions that you place on your project before you even think about the creative stuff. For example, you might want to shoot your whole film handheld, or you might decide to only use one lens, or you might decide not to use any dialogue because you can't afford a soundie. Deciding on what constraints you're going to place on your project first allows you to then limit the possibilities that you can consider. This might sound like a bad thing, but actually limiting the possibilities can make your project actually achievable and finishable, which is the main goal here. My friend Sean and I wrote this film together and made it as a project for him to act in and for me to shoot and direct. We used a Google Doc to work together, and that's where we dumped all our ideas, starting with the constraints. For the self-tape, we decided these were the constraints. Only one location, our house. Only 2 actors, Sean and Mo, both friends of mine who would be happy to work for free. 1 crew member, me. I would shoot, direct, record sound, pull focus, and do anything that needed to happen that wasn't on screen. No new gear. I already own a Blackmagic Pocket 6K and a basic audio recorder, and we decided that we didn't want to rent anything else, we just wanted to use what we already have. We chose these specific constraints mainly because we didn't want to deal with the hassle of assembling a crew or finding a location or renting out flash gear. We wanted to make this film as easy as possible to produce and execute, and so all the constraints locked us into making our story as small as possible, and it also keeps the entire process really chill. Once we knew our constraints, we could jam story ideas that fit those limitations. So we started brainstorming, and Sean mentioned that it could be fun to play with accents. We brainstormed some more and eventually came to a concept that we quite liked. What if actors took pills that magically somehow gave them any accent that they needed? People have mentioned that it's a quirky idea that they like, and I don't think we would have landed on it if we didn't know our constraints in the first place. So not only does thinking about constraints make your project more achievable, it also forces you to think more creatively about how to tell your story or what story to tell in the first place. So that's number 1, constraints. Decide on your limitations first and then brainstorm within that restricted playing field. Number 2, goals and obstacles. We've all heard this a million times. A story is about a character trying to do something and something else stopping that character from doing that. The character's goal is whatever they're trying to achieve, and the obstacles are all the things getting in the way of that character. For example, Frodo's goal in The Lord of the Rings is to take the ring to Mount Doom and destroy it. Some of his obstacles are the fact that it's really far away and in a dangerous part of the world and there's like a huge war going on, the fact that the ring itself is an addictive and evil piece of shit, and the fact that he doesn't actually know the way to Mount Doom in the first place.
I do not know the way. Mordor, Gandalf, is it left or right?
The goal we selected for the self-tape was that our lead character had to record and submit a self-tape audition, and just to add some stakes to the situation, we added some time pressure. This was perfect for our film because it keeps the whole project small and intimate and still very executable. So now that we knew the character's goal, we needed to figure out what the obstacles would be. Without any obstacles, we wouldn't have a story. It became pretty clear that the right obstacles would be something to do with our accent pills, which was the initial concept that kicked off the story in the first place. Our guy has to do an American accent for the self-tape, and so one idea for an obstacle was, what if he can't find his pills? That was the first idea we had for an obstacle, and eventually in the finished script, that became, he's run out of American accent pills. At this point, we've got a pretty interesting and quirky concept, we've got a character with a goal, and we've got an obstacle for him. Number 3, an active character. Active characters are defined as those that take direct action to try and achieve their goal. They make decisions and they actually do stuff based on the information they have or how they feel. The opposite of an active character is a passive character, which is someone who pretty much only reacts and doesn't actually make any decisions or take any actions. They are characters who just have things happen to them and they don't really play a big role in the story. It's almost always more engaging and interesting to watch a film with active characters rather than passive characters. For the purposes of our small-scale, intimate short film, having an active character basically meant that we wanted Sean's character to actually make decisions and take actions to try and achieve his goal of getting that self-tape recorded and submitted by the deadline. We wanted him to try things despite the fact that he's run out of pills. We wanted him to fail a couple times and then keep trying different things anyway. The harder a character is trying to achieve their goal and the bigger the obstacles that they keep facing, the more epic the story, I think. Maybe. The first thing he tries is to record the audition without using any pills at all. He takes action and he does this and he fails miserably because his accent sucks.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna give in to the pressure?
The second thing he tries is to take the small amount of dust that's left in the American accent pill bottle. He pours it onto the counter and scoops it up with his fingers like it's rice on a plate. This seems to work for a minute until his accent slips up halfway through the tape and it completely throws him.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna give in to the pressure?
So his second attempt also becomes a failure. The third thing he tries is to create a new mix of the other accent pills to try and recreate the American accent. After a couple of false starts, this new concoction ends up actually working and he finally gets the self-tape recorded. So as you can see, he tries 3 different tactics to try and get the self-tape recorded. He fails the first 2 times, but despite failing, he pivots and tries something new. This is how we tried to achieve the vibe of an active character in our short film. So that's it. Those are 3 things that helped us write our short film fast and keep it simple, but still get a reasonably engaging little story, I hope. Let me know what you thought of the film in the comments below, and also, what are some of your favorite examples of these 3 concepts in films or series that you've seen, or that you've made? Let us know in the comments below. A little bit of context before I end this thing. The self-tape and most of the other short films that you're going to see coming up on this channel are entirely self-produced and self-funded. They're explicitly for practice and for fun. The goals are to develop our craft, keep generating work, and build connections with other creatives around us. As part of our development, we're going to share on this channel our learnings from each project as we go along. So if you're keen to watch more of this type of stuff, subscribe to the channel. Please do hit the like button and share this video with someone if you liked it. It really does help. Otherwise, have fun. Bye.